Hey yo, what's up guys? It's your boy 10, y'all seen one, and I'm back with the shittest mic of all times. Yep, my microphone broke and I haven't been able to get over it to this day. It's been actually some time, like a week I think, maybe more. But yeah, I'm using a phone's microphone, so I hope you guys don't mind. I know the quality is absolutely terrible and there's a lot of hissing and it's not that good, but yeah, I tried to fix it. I tried to get it fixed as well, but I'm not sure if it's gonna get fixed. So I'm afraid I'll probably have to buy a new one, for which I'm not sure when I'll get it. Probably months. Who knows? I'll start saving, I suppose. But yeah, yeah. So I'll just continue with with this microphone. I hope you guys don't mind. And yeah, yes, I'm not gonna make any excuses actually. Yeah, this is the reason why it took me so long to make a video. Yeah. Yeah, you guys feel me, right? Yeah, so yeah, today we're gonna basically cover a specific topic in Unity, which is called UI, also known as user interface, which is basically just, on-screen text, on-screen user interface. It could be interactable, it could be just something which the user can read, or get some information from, stuff like that. I'm not gonna go jump into the specific terms because this is not definition school. This is just something you can learn and understand better in a more practical example, instead of just writing things on paper or just learning definitions, I suppose. But yeah. So without any further ado, let's get started. Yeah, so anyways, today I'm not gonna really jump into. I'm gonna try to just touch the surface of it and try to keep my video short, because apparently people don't like me talking a lot. Yeah, they just don't like me talking a lot. I mean, my videos are supposed to be more relaxed and calm, and no matter how much I try, I can't help but like make them 20 to 30 minutes long. I know it's a terrible thing, but But yeah, anyways, so let's get back into Unity, and what we're going to do is we're going to cover UI basically. So remember when we added this crosshair in the middle of the screen, so like we basically went and we just right clicked in the hierarchy, and we go into UI, just right click and UI, and we added an image basically, and it just basically adds an image in the middle of the screen. We gave it a texture, we resized it, stuff like that. So here what we have is we have a canvas. Now what happens is, by default you don't have the canvas, obviously you don't have the event system either. So if I right click, if I go to UI and image, it creates the event system and the canvas for me, and it adds the image to the canvas automatically. So what is the canvas really? The canvas is basically, just something something which is used to render UI elements inside of Unity. Now UI, this new UI, this is new by the way. I mean, it's not that new anymore, but it was basically introduced in Unity 4.6, which of course it's been a long time since Unity 4.6 came out, and it kind of became more of a standard in Unity 5, I suppose you could say. But yeah, so basically, just a little bit of history if you guys are curious. I don't know. And basically, before Unity had something called GUI, which is graphical user interface. You can still use it, but I think it's gonna like soon become legacy. And I mean, as a like Unity's probably gonna take it out soon, I think. In Unity 2017.3 maybe. So anyways, so yeah, you can see we had a crosshair, right? So if I click on something and I press F, I can focus on it. Like my mouse is in the scene view. I click on this guy, move my mouse in the scene view, press F. No, I don't know if I mentioned that before. I probably did, but so this is just a piece of UI. You can just move it around, stuff like that. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna code something, and what that's gonna be is it's gonna be like ammo text, so like we can actually see our ammo count, right? So what we can do for that is we can like right click there, and we can add a text, so UI text, and it creates a text object or UI element for us. Now as you can see, I have a handler here. I have a three-dimensional handler. You can say it's basically just a movement handler, or handle rather, and I can switch to a rotation handle from the top left side of the screen, or from the scaling, or this is specifically for the UI. So this is the UI handler, or handle. I just don't know, man. I'm sorry. And basically you can scale it up and down. All right, and you can this is the pivot, basically this blue circle right there. You can move it here, so when you scale it up and down, it scales, you know, about the pivot and stuff. You know, it actually doesn't scale about the pivot. It rotates about the pivot, so like I can just rotate about the pivot, you know, stuff like that. Or I can just rotate this way. And what we can do is we can basically just move it to the left bottom of the screen. I suppose I'm going to just make it white. And you know, just so it's more visible there. And this is by no means supposed to be racist. Oh yeah. So we just put it there. We just scale it up. So I'm just going to hold left shift, and I'm going to click on one of the corners there, and it allows me to scale up proportionally, you can say, like the entire object on itself, while still keeping its like ratio, the scaling ratio and stuff. So, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to increase its font size from the inspector view, so we can just go ahead and increase the font size. That's that, right? Pretty cool stuff. Probably quite big, you know. Yeah. And you can change, you can move, you can look through fonts. You don't have any fonts by default. Obviously, you can go down the fonts from the internet, and do make sure you have, you know, they're free to use under maybe Creative Commons license or anything like that, unless you might have issues later on in the game. So we have this now. This is going to be our ammo text, and just ignore this. Oh my god, I don't even know. This is a rendering issue. Don't worry about it. So let's go and jump into our script real quick, and let's get started. So before I get started, I'm just going to explain a little. I'm actually not going to jump into the canvas, the UI, the components which we have here. Just going to keep that short. But we'll have a more detailed tutorial on how to, on what each and every component does. You know, the certain options they have, and you know, more details into the specific text and the image components, and as well as on how to optimize the UI. Because optimizing UI, you can really unoptimize your game just thanks to UI, because Unity's UI is really unoptimized, or at least the way it's handled by default. There are certain ways to optimize it. So I'm just opening up my weapon script here, and we're going to use something that you see. It says using system.collections, using Unity engine, stuff like that. Now what this is it's basically libraries. But to put it simply, this is like, you can say, like I have a class here, right? This is like a public class, you know. Everything which is under it is obviously a part of this class, right? It's grouped under this class, you can say. So what this is it's a collection of classes. It's a namespace. It's called a namespace, and it's a collection of classes. It has different classes. It has different methods. It has different functions and stuff like that. I'm sorry, I can't talk today, but it's not all that complex. Don't worry about it. But you know, we'll look into namespaces as well at a later time. But so this is basically, you know, just like a huge list of classes, and what we're doing is we're reading from that code. It's like the built-in code. It's like you know, what Unity provides us, right? And we're gonna use something, you know, something from the Unity engine class as well. You know, the namespace as well, which is gonna allow us to integrate UI related features inside of our script, so we can directly, you know, you see this component, the text component, by default the script can't see it, right? So for example, I have a transform component which is like right on any other object, like transform. I have a particle system component, like I have a you know, I have certain different components. I have an audio source component, an animator component, stuff like that, right? And Unity sees it, but if I write something like a private text, it's not going to see it. It's going to see text align, text asset, stuff like that. It's not going to see the text component itself. And to access that component, we're going to access Unity's namespaces, which has all the information to that specific component in the form of classes and blah blah blah. And hopefully you guys are not being confused right now. But let's not jump into details and just confuse you. So we're just gonna touch the surface here, just touching the surface. It's gonna take 30 minutes to touch the surface apparently. So yeah, let's say. So we're gonna write something like using Unity engine.ui. As simple as that. Now we're just using all the UI related classes inside of this particular namespace. Also, it's pretty easy to pack anything in a namespace. You know, you can just literally do something like namespace, my namespace, you know, and then we can just like put the like end this curly bracket, braces bracket, I don't know, at the end. And now this is inside of a namespace, this entire script. Under the namespace called my namespace. If I ever want to use this namespace, I just say using my namespace, you know. See? Magic. So, yeah, this is how it's packed, just to make things slightly more clear. Hopefully, it helps. right? So anyways, now what we are going to do, we're going to actually declare the text component. So I'm just going to put the text component somewhere here. I'll explain better like later on how to actually not have everything inside of just one script as in like the weapon script. We're just basically squeezing everything into one script, and that's not good for a more when your game becomes more complex and grows up.
Once I was 7 years old, my mama told me go.
Right. So for that, we'll actually go into details on how to split different scripts into components and go from that workflow and actually get stuff done. So right. So let's declare the text components. We're gonna refer to this component right here, the text component, and we're gonna change its text property. You see the text property right there? Whatever I write inside of it is basically updated in real time. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically change this property from the script, and we're going to change it to the bullet count. So we're going to say something like current bullets over total bullets or something like that, or by total bullets or something. So it's going to be like 30 over 120, for example. That's that kind of thing. It's going to be like that, all right? So this is what it's going to show. So 30 is like the bullets which we have loaded, which we have in our weapon, and 120 is like the total bullets we have, right? So let's go back and let's see. So we're going to say public text ammo text, right? So we're referring to the text component under the name ammo text, right? We can just save that. We can hop back into Unity and we can select our weapons, right? So you just go into the camera, weapon holder, and this is not how it's supposed to be. I just messed it up there. Oh god. But yeah, so we just go to the weapon. So I have, for example, my AK-47, and it has a new option for ammo text. Just drag and drop the text thingy right into there. Do the same exact thing for the M4, just drag and drop the text thingy right in there. Okay, that's as simple as that. Now let's go back to the script. And right now, obviously nothing is going to happen if I play the game, but let's go back and actually update the ammo in real time. So if I scroll down, what we want to do is we want to update the ammo only when something changes. Like our current bullets change, our total bullets change. Now what we can do is we can just put the ammo, like updating the ammo, we can just update the ammo on the update function or the method, like every frame. But that's not right. That means that we're updating it again and again and again, even when it's not changing. There's no reason to update it when it's not changing. And a lot of times people just, do this, and it just, in the long run, it's gonna really mess up your game if you just start putting everything in the update. I mean, you could put things in the update, like things like the aim down sights, for example, can be taken out from the update. Maybe for now it's fine because it's not that intensive. It's not like because it's in the update it's terrible. No, but stuff like that. But a lot of things, you could just move through different functions and stuff like that. So anyways, let's see. So we want to our ammo changes when we shoot. Each time we fire, we deduct 1 bullet. Each time we reload, we add bullets to our current bullets, and we take away from our total bullets, right? Those are the two times when the bullets actually change, right? And that's when we need to update. But one more thing which we need to do is we need to actually change or update our bullets each time we change our weapon. So each time we change our weapon, it's gonna not work otherwise. Okay, I'll just show you what I mean. But right now, let's create a basic function, a universal function of sorts. So let's create a new function at the very bottom and call this private void update bullet text or something like that. Let's call it update ammo text or something like that. Right? So this is just like a method. So instead of changing the text like manually every time by just writing an entire line, we can just execute this function or method. I keep saying function. It's not called. It's called a method. You can call it a function as well, but a method is kind of more preferred. It's more. It makes more sense. It's more of a standardish way, you can say. I don't know if I'm saying it. But yeah, anyways, let's see. A lot of people in my Discord server, by the way, were complaining that you should say it, you should call it method, Yashi, and function is not right, man. And yeah, man, they're not wrong about that, but yeah. So I'll try not to mess up your concepts as well. So we're gonna update the text. Pretty easy, right? How are we gonna do that? We're just gonna say, okay, ammo text dot text. All right, so we're accessing the text component, and we're accessing its field called the text field, which is inside of here, which was like we just showed you the text component and all. And we're gonna update that to say equals, and we're gonna say current bullets, right? over, so the current bullets we have over, what was it, total bullets or something? Bullets left, I think. Yeah, bullets left. That's it. Now, as you can see, it's throwing an error. That's fine for now. I'll explain what's happening here. But right, so what we're doing is we're basically no, actually not like this. My bad. It's gonna be like this. I'll explain what I'm doing right here. But I think it might not throw an error actually. Oh, it's not throwing an error. Okay. So what we're doing here is we're changing the text to something like let me add a space there, to something like current bullets. So for example, our current bullets are like 30. So we're changing it to 30, right? We're changing text to 30, and then what we're doing is we're adding, so plus, we're adding a string, because text is always in the form of a string. We're adding a forward slash, so we're adding a space there, note the space there, okay, inside of the quotes. So we're adding a space, then we're adding a forward slash, then we're adding another space, and then we're adding the bullets left. So say I have 120 bullets left, it's going to show like this, right? So this is what we're doing basically, that's all, right? And I'm just going to remove this for now. Maybe just keep it for reference if you guys like it though. Now usually what happens is, now this is an integer, I suppose Unity handles it quite well, but usually what happens is if you're trying to display something else, you would normally say something like .toString, which converts a value to a string. In this case, I suppose we don't need to do that. I'm actually not sure. I mean, usually it just throws an error, but I suppose integers can directly be converted to strings by Unity. I hope it's not optimized, but let's see. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually execute this method on one of our functions inside of the fire function. So after our bullet count changes, we're just going to execute this function method. Yes. So update ammo text. I can't type for some reason, and we're gonna execute this function inside of the reload as well because our bullets are changing. So method. Oh god. Okay, I'm sorry, but yeah, we're just gonna do that here as well, right? And then we're gonna go back to Unity, and actually, you know what? I gave up on the method thing. Let's call it a function. Okay, that's just. No, man, I don't care anymore. So now you see nothing happens to the new text. You're like, oh, Yassine, what are you doing, Yassine? You just wrote a script, which is terrifying. I don't worry about it, man. Like, hey, magic, my boy. Yeah. Oh, God, it's so loud. Let me just... Okay, I'm just gonna... Yeah, that's better. and it's updating in real time, and I reload, and it should update. If it doesn't update, I don't know, but it should update, There we go, it updates. Right when we're done reloading, it updates, right? This is pretty cool, right? So this is fine and all, but what happens when I switch the weapon? But the delay is like, yeah, there we go. So you can see the bullets are not updating. This weapon has like 60 bullets left, and its current bullets are 30, and it says 30 over 40. It should say 30 over 60, but it's not saying that. But if I click, it updates. Black magic, absolutely. Black magic, like, no offense, but like, I mean, no offense to people who use black magic, but yeah, this is amazing, man, like stuff like that. But basically, what's happening is we forgot to update the bullets whenever we change weapons. How do we do that? Oh, you might think it's gonna be terrifying. We go into the weapon manager, we say, okay, we change the weapon, okay, that's cool. Then we get the weapon and we update its bullets and all that kind of stuff. We can do that, but let's do something really easy, fairly easy. It's a basic method. First things first. One thing we really need to do is something called we need to update. Like when I started the game at first, you saw I just said new text. So first, let's fix that, right? How do we fix that? We just add the update ammo text function method here, function method here. All right, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm just not up to it today. It's just forgive me, man. It's so cool. But we add this method here, and what's gonna do? It's gonna update on the start. So each time this, the start method, by the way, this only executes once. This executes if the object is enabled. If I'm not wrong, I think it's executed if the object is enabled on start. If it's not enabled, with the moment it gets enabled, I think it's executed. But I think it's actually just executed anyways. I'm not sure, but but only once. Afterwards, it's never like executed. So even if I disable and re-enable the object, it's never touched again, right? So what we want to do is we want to update the ammo text each time we enable our weapon. So we disable it, we enable it. How do we do that? Well, it's pretty simple. There's a built-in method. It's called onEnable, and we just paste in the update ammo text there as well. So we're only updating when we need to update it. So when we need to update it is when we change our weapon. So update when active state is changed. So like, you know, you don't want it in the like if I select my weapon, if I disable it and I re-enable it, so each time it's re-enabled, this method is called, and this method in turn is going to update the ammo text. And as simple as that, right? It should work out, right? And we're just updating whenever we need to update it. We're not updating it on the update when the ammo doesn't even change, right? So let's go ahead. Let's test it and let's see how that goes. So as you can see at the start, my bullets are 30/60. I shoot, bam, that works. I change my weapon. It updates again. As you can see, it was again 30/60. And I shoot again, and I change again, and it updates again, and that's working fairly fine, right? No issues there, right? I can switch weapons and I can reload, and it just keeps its state. It keeps them working, right? Yeah, there we go. We can switch weapons again, and we can just update from there. Reload from there, and hope it works, right? Yeah, pretty good, right? Also, some people for some reason, a lot of people are having issues with the weapon sway. I think you can fix it with the if you click on the apply root motion. Like, I'm not sure. I don't know why people were having that issue, but you know, if you're like having lots of issues like this, you know, maybe you could just go ahead and maybe you could just, you know, start. I don't know. Maybe I can make a fix video on that. Like, let me know if you guys want me to make a fix video on the weapon swing if it's not working. But yeah, so I'll probably revise the entire structure at some time at a later point. Now the reason why I'm not teaching you guys, like, as in, you know, the more standard industry standards, is basically it's more of a beginner to intermediate. You know, a lot of my you know, channel's audience viewers are, you know, not so used to Unity, you can say. They're not so familiar with Unity, with programming, lots of things, and I'm just trying to get, you know, use this as something which can get you into something which is not so boring, and at the same time it's not so complex, even though if someone looks at this, it's probably gonna go like, yeah, man, what are you teaching, man? I don't know. Yeah, man, I don't know what I'm teaching, man. Like, yeah, I know my stuff, man. Don't worry about that, man. Yeah, actually, programmers have no clue what they're teaching. It's just magic, you know. You don't really have to. And I just noticed I'm writing private void there, and I'm writing void there. Oh my god, I am triggered. No, but for real, you should not be that inconsistent with your code. Definitely, Yasin Sensei will teach you. Yeah, man. I should add that Omaiba mo Shindeiru meme inside of my, you know, video as well. See what I did there. Yeah, so anyways, hope you guys enjoyed, and hope it was refreshing, and I'm preparing a photon tutorial soon, or right now, maybe I'll just record it like right after this one, or maybe I should go and refresh myself a little bit so I can be up to it again, you know. Surprisingly, the video is like 24 minutes long or something. I'm just dragging along now. It's finished, guys. You can leave now. Yeah, it's okay, you know. I hope you guys enjoyed, and join my Discord. Let's hang out, boys. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm kind of bored and stuff. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. And I shall see you in the next one. Peace out. But you guys love my backgrounds, don't you? Thanks to Venkat Vedlamani for supporting me on Patreon. He's my very first patron, and I'm really excited for this. It really motivates me. Thanks a lot again, and peace out.